Hey everyone, welcome to a Monday show. This is going to be a quick one. Well, relatively quick. I always say that, but then it ends up going super long. But man, I am getting crazy busy, not just from one thing, but from a lot of different things in life are all just kind of colliding like within the next 2-3 weeks. And so there was a couple times this weekend that I woke up like it was totally like the movies. I was like sleeping and then I woke up like and in a panic of everything that is on my plate. So it's a bit stressful, but it's all good. You know, it's good stuff. Can't complain. Well, I can't complain. I am complaining, but it is a bit stressful. Some of it is self-inflicted, and at the same time, it's like with this channel, this YouTube stuff, like I definitely want to keep putting out stuff, trying new things, building on what I've already been doing the last few months. But it is nonstop. And when life creeps in and demands your attention for other things, it's like, oh, shoot, like, but I got to stream and I got this Wednesday thing coming. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get my Wednesday video done of the one we voted on last week. Maybe I shouldn't disclose that right now. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if I can get that video done in time. I don't know if I can make it to the comic book store on time or this Wednesday. I just got a lot going on. But I did feel like I really wanted to stream. One, because it's a new week. And the last time I streamed was Wednesday, so there's just want to keep connected. And two, on Friday I posted a picture of a package that I got. I got it on Thursday, and I thought, oh, maybe I can stream on Friday. But then Friday kind of started the tidal wave of everything that is on my plate. So I had this package sitting in my office, and I haven't touched it since. And then Monday came around today, and I was like, oh, this is the day that I should unbox it. But I'm like, I don't have time, but I want to open it. And I definitely wanted to do it on stream. So anyway, here we are. I said, I'm just doing it. Let's just get it out there. Do a quick stream if you have to, Rocky. You can do it, man. And I punched myself a couple times. And so now we're here. So yeah, I didn't know if anybody would show up. My time is a little off than normal. I mean, I guess I stream somewhat around this time. I try to morning, start of the afternoon here, but so yeah, it was pretty impromptu. I had a lot of errands to run this morning, and then I was just like, no, I got to do it. Just got to do it. So I just turned on the lights, got everything set up, and just pressed go. And then guess who showed up first? Alan Lau. I thought, man, if it's just you, we could just chat and catch up on stream. That would be cool. It's good to see you, man. Oh, yeah, the comment doesn't show up in Ecamm. It shows up that weird face, blue, wide eyes, but I saw it on YouTube. But good hearing from you, man. We have not connected yet to go to a comic book store. I don't know if I have time to do it this week, which is blasphemy as far as my channel is concerned. But if I do and you're free, we should go. We should go together. If not, we should definitely go together, even if it's not a Wednesday, because we need to catch up in person. Awesome one. Hashtag I am second. You were almost first. That's okay. I think you like being the second position or the last position. But I'm grateful you're here. I'm grateful for your comments. Grateful that you would say that you're second and take pride in that. And then Cranberry Langers. Hey, dude. Welcome to the new week. I know you said you're just going to pop on the stream and listen on the side as you work. So that's awesome. But thanks for saying hello. Thank you for all your comments on the previous video. You had some great input there on Rook Exodus. For those of you who haven't seen that, check out that video. Cranberry Langers had some great comments. Always with the great comments. Very specific comments. So thanks for doing that. Thanks for taking the time to do that. I know it's not, you don't have to do that. And I ask for people to do that, but you don't have to do that. But you spend a lot of time on my videos. And I know for other people you do too. So it is very much appreciated. Awesome One says it's an early show. Yeah, it's kind of off time for me. I'm like, yeah, I just had to bite the bullet and do it. I'm always trying to thread the needle with the schedule of not only work stuff that I have to do, but life stuff. And because I'm working from home, still a full-time job, but working from home, I still have to like run a lot of the house things and do driving and pickups and errands and blah, blah. Like this morning, I had to bring one of my cars in for brake check. And so I didn't have a car. So then I had to take a bike from the mechanic and bike to where I needed to do my next errand. And then, so yeah, I was just all over the place this morning, and it wasn't even 10 o'clock yet. So, Cranberry Lander says the stream playing in the background. Awesome. Get out of here. I'm not here. That's his pseudonym, Cranberry Landers. I'm not here. See you later. Alan S. Lau. Oh, he was mentioning, I missed that comment earlier. Alan was saying that he was chatting up with Warren Graff, who is an old friend of ours. I haven't kept in touch with Warren other than through social media here and there, but Warren Graff's a great writer. That was one of the main writers on Happy Tree Friends. And he's written for video games too. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alan Lau. So yeah, Alan says he didn't realize he was a mega comic fan. I figured as much just based on the stories that Warren would write and, just nerd culture in general, entertainment culture in general. So I figured, but I didn't know. It seems like he's a lot bigger than you would expect. So that'd be cool to see. I wonder what he's into. You had mentioned, where is that? Black Science by Rick Remender. I don't think I've read that one. I know Rick Remender, and you'd mentioned him working at WildBrain. Yep, Rick was, I think he was a cleanup artist on, what was he working on? I think it was one of Ed Bell's jobs, Alan. Do you remember? But yeah, he was sitting not too far away from me next to Sorensen, and he was good. He came up here from LA, I think, and I think he had done some work on a DreamWorks project prior to joining us at WildBrain. So he was kind of bringing in throwing around all the names and the projects that he had worked on. Could tell he was going somewhere, but I had no realization or no idea that he would become as big in comics as he did. If I had known that, I would have chummed up to him a little bit closer. But yeah, it's kind of cool that I crossed paths with him. Awesome One says he has a few issues of Black Science. Cool. But he doesn't know about the Rick Remender empire. Yeah, Rick, I know he has his own studio / company, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, people of the chat who might know, I think he signed like some sort of exclusive first look deal or like a package deal or something with some publishing deal. I'm pretty sure he did, because he just cranks out all sorts of stories, and I don't know his whole career. I should actually look it up closer, but I remember he was into comics, even though he was working in animation at the time, because he had published a book. I think it was an indie book called Blackheart Billy, if I'm not mistaken. He was working with another artist. I think he was either the artist on it, like working with another artist on it, or maybe he was the writer already on it. I don't remember. I mean, he was definitely an artist. So, but yeah, Blackheart Billy, I remember him working on that. But I thought, oh, cool. I mean, in the animation industry, there's a lot of people who are working on side projects that are comic books or producing their own comic books. So that was pretty standard fare. But again, had no idea he would blow up as huge as he has. You better touch that Iron Man next time for reasons. Yeah, with the sign. I should. That's a cool. I think the only way that you can own something like that, maybe not the only way, but the only way you can store something like that is if you own a comic book shop so that you can put the Iron Man there. But that's a cool statue. I'm pretty sure Chris, the owner of Invisible Jet, got that from a previous comic book store owner whose store closed near in the area. And when they were kind of selling out all of their inventory, she got that one. There we go. Alan Lau says, I think I still have his Blackheart Billy comic. I bought it from him at Wildbrain. There you go. Yeah, Blackheart Billy. Well, I'm surprised I remember that. But it was definitely, it was definitely kind of an indie vibe, kind of punk rocky, if I punk me. No, if I remember correctly. Awesome One says, you animating again? No, not right now. I'm not working on an animation project right now per se, but yeah. The babies of life are crying. Okay. I don't want to know about that. That's sad. A box of Robin from Shelby, maybe. I'm missing the chat of what the conversation was with that. And sometimes with you, Awesome One, I don't know if I should be tracking it or if you're throwing me a curveball, but it's okay. Keeps me on my toes. Shelby, I think just recently I saw Shelby posted on Twitter, Twix, that he was at an Arizona convention with Dan Fraga. So I think they were they had like an artist table together, which is pretty awesome. So I look forward to hearing, I'm sure he's going to stream about it, or I don't think he streamed live while he was there, but I think he'll probably talk about it on the stream. But that's so cool. I can't wait for another convention. I have not been to a comic book convention in a long time. They used to have a big one here in the city called WonderCon, but then that moved to LA because I think rent here was just insane and hotels here are insane. And LA is a lot more suited for big conventions. So, but yeah, WonderCon was here. Then they had Ape, which was like an alternative press expo. Used to go to that one all the time. And I know they have some in the East Bay, smaller cons. Haven't been to any of those. Some in San Jose, south of here. So yeah, I haven't been to a big convention in a long time, but it's due. It's due to go. I'm due to go. Are you talking about a 420 week? No. Although that was all over the city. Yeah, that was all over the city. I kind of stayed away from the haze that was emitting from Golden Gate Park. Happy 422. Oh boy. Would love to hit a local comic store. Let me know when you dust settles. Yeah, let's do it. That'll be fun. That'll be really fun. Speaking of which, I was outside of the city on the weekend with my wife, and we happened to go to these outlets in one of the cities that is about an hour away from here, from San Francisco. And, you know, we went shopping and stuff, and then there was a point where I was like, okay, I'm done shopping. I want to go explore. So I looked up like local comic book stores, and I had all of the intention to film there to like highlight those stores and do a video about those stores. And I kind of wish I did. But so there's two stores I found. One of them was called King Kong Comics? I can't remember. But I had been there before, and it's this huge like warehouse space. They do a lot of like board games, card games, events there. But they also have a ginormous comic book section. So I was really excited. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this place. And I went, and it was like almost empty. And there was a guy standing at the front desk or the cashier table, and he kind of had this look on his face like, oh no, there's a customer. And he said, hey, can I help you? And I was like, I'm looking for the comics because I'm walking into a comic book store. And he went on to explain to me, I guess they just had a shift in ownership, and whoever owned it before, it's now reverting back to who the original owner was, whatever. Seems like a big shift and change in ownership. So all of their inventory was gone. They're restructuring the whole place, but they still had it open, which was a bit odd. I guess because people were playing board games, and that's part of their revenue at the moment. So apparently they're going to have a huge grand opening on May 4th, which is coming up. And for those of you who might be tracking, May 4th is Free Comic Book Day. So pretty excited about that. All the local comic book stores should be celebrating that with free comics. Those are always a good draw to go to the store. So yeah, apparently this store that I had visited, King Kong Comics, is going to do a big to-do on May 4th. Not that I think I can make it out there, but... So when I went in there, I was like, well, all they had was like a few back issue boxes there, and they weren't even really old back issues. They were just kind of like 2 weeks ago. And I flipped through a few of them. They had some graphic novels out, not really anything to call home about. So yeah, I was like, ugh, I don't want to film this. This is kind of depressing. So then I went to another store, and I can't remember the name of this other store. It was in this cute downtown area. And I went, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a good one. And I went inside, and I felt like I walked into a comic hoarder's house. It was a total mess. And it kind of turned me off for a second because I was like, because I felt like I'm like stumbling over boxes. Nothing was really organized. There was like really thin aisles. It's a good thing I don't remember the name because I don't want to out them. But it was as if like there was no rhyme or reason to the organization, and stuff there was no like visual consistency. It was just stuff in boxes, some things on the shelves, like something stacked all over the place. And I stayed there for a bit because I was like, okay, where do I even start? And I started digging, and they actually had this one corner that was a whole half off corner. So that was cool to kind of sift through. And to be honest, I actually like the fact that it was disorganized because it appealed to the hunter collector in me, where it's like, oh, I bet I can find a gem in here. And like you're flipping things over, you're looking behind books, you don't know what you're going to run into. I didn't find anything. I found some cool things, but not enough that I wanted to buy them. But all that to being said, I didn't even know where I would start with filming that store. And I didn't even breach the subject with the owners that were there, because it was just like, I just had a big question mark on my face of like, how would I film this to make this store look good? Not that I want to make it look like it's not cool, but it was just like, it would look like I'm filming a messy person's closet. I mean, it's bigger than that, but anyway, I had a little like hesitation, and then I chickened out. I didn't decide to do it. And driving home from there, I was like, man, I should have done it, because it was its own thing. Good and bads of it was its own thing. And for whatever reason, it's successful. And, there was people coming in, there was customers and stuff. And that's probably part of the appeal of it. After I was there for a little bit, I did like that aspect of it, but it was the messiest comic book store I've ever been in. One of the messiest comic book stores I've ever been in. And so, yeah, but maybe that's how I should have framed it. I'm going to the messiest comic book store I've ever been in. All right, wait. Let me catch up here in the chat. Do you have the football suitcase in case of emergencies? I don't know what that means. Wow, active dad, doing all the chores and 2 jobs. YouTube definitely takes a lot of effort. It does. It really does. And, it's a labor of love for sure at this point. And I was telling my son this morning as I was driving him, I was like, I should stream today, because if I don't, it's going to take a hit. And I don't want to, not that I'm trying to chase anything, but, you just want to keep it thriving, good, people engaged, and don't want to let people down. And I had something to open up for this unboxing, which I will get to in 2 seconds. But yeah, it is it's kind of a full-time thing. It's always on my mind. But I got a lot on my plate. Yes, I believe Warren worked on Sonic with Ken Pontac as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, definitely Warren. Sorry, that conversation was from early on, but yeah, Warren has done a lot of writing on a multitude of different things in the entertainment industry. So that's cool. You got to catch up with him. I always feel like I'm walking into the wrong conversation with you, awesome one. But don't ever change. I love it. I recall Rick Remender. Alan Lau says, I recall Rick Remender working on Iron Giant. Yes, that's right. Yeah, maybe it wasn't. I was thinking maybe Prince of Egypt, but no, it was Iron Giant. You're absolutely right. That's what it was. Hey, Art and Times of Jay Ryan. How are you doing? Welcome on this Monday. Hope you are well. Hope you have gotten a couple other 52 comic covers under your belt since we last talked. But good to see you. You have a package is why the ramen. Never explain a joke. Sorry. I know. I'm behind. But I get it now. Funny. You just need a warehouse with bathrooms for a BingCon. Yeah, kind of. Just a couple card tables and the artists, and then you're all set. Alan Lau says, if you are interested in a local comic convention, this one is pretty cool. Fan Expo. Oh, yeah, I've heard about this. I think one of my friends went to the last one that happened. Yeah, I'll check that out. We should go together, Alan. Let's do it. France. Wow, too far from me. Francisco. Yes. Hey, Katie. Hey, welcome. Well, I don't think I've met you before here, so welcome. That's why I kind of stuttered. I was like, Katie, do I know Katie? Thanks for coming. This is going to be a fast stream. I say that, and it's already been, 30 minutes? But I'm doing an unboxing today of something that came in the mail, and came last week. I was just explaining I have a super busy week, but I definitely want to get a couple streams in here for this week before I get overwhelmed and behind. So here we are. Everybody's saying hello. We just had a games con, didn't go, mostly tabletop. Yeah, I know that's hand in hand with comic book culture. I see that in many comic book stores where they have separate section just for tabletop games or card games, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, all those kind of stuff. So, but I've never gotten into it myself. But it's a thriving industry, so, it's kind of cool. Comrade Sammy, aloha amigo. Sorry I'm late, but hey, I'm not as late as John, so that's a win. This is one of the latest times I've seen you come in, but that's okay. Awesome One kind of pointed out that this is a bit early-ish for when I normally stream on Mondays when I do, and it is off time. I'm just doing it just to get it in there. The Comic Crack Den. That's a good name for a store. Comic Crack Den. I can get on board with that. Hashtag waiting for John feels like I'm waiting for Nerdrotic. Oh my goodness. Alan Lau says, I think I've been to that Hoarder House comic shop. It's pure chaos. I kind of love it. Is it in Livermore? That's where I was. Was it the Livermore one? I'm not going to name it because if I go back, I will film it. But let me know if it's the one in Livermore. We call those out here in the boonies an eternal garage sale when it comes to mess and not much to buy. Yeah, I don't know how they must sell. He had monthly books. He had a rack. I'll give him that. They had a rack for the monthly books, but even that was like spread out in different places. They had toys, which classic comic book store, they had toys that are facing the window and they're all like faded. The plastic's a little yellowed on the packaging and the toys themselves are faded. They had like graphic novels that were sun faded. They had tons of omnibuses there. Yeah, and then it was just all mixed in with whatever. They had a small-ish manga section, which ironically was well kept. So I don't know if that's because nobody touched it or that's the one they're focusing on. And then there were two guys working behind the counter, and one of them was cataloging something random. And yeah, it was so interesting. It would be like you're filming someplace in the Twilight Zone. Yeah, kind of. It would have just, yeah. I would have knocked things over. Yeah, I guess when I walk into a store and with the intention of filming it, my brain's already working of like, okay, I need a shot of this, and oh, look, we can focus on this part, and I will walk in this path, like do a little like, moving walk into the store. This one, like if I did a walk in, I would walk in and trip over things. Like there's no like smooth path to walk. Maybe that would be part of the story. I would be dodging. I would be like uncomfortably like squeezing past aisles. It it was a mess. Oh goodness. Set up the filming as a dungeon or secret lab for your filming. Maybe. Yeah, maybe something. Maybe it needs a little theme to it. It was crazy. I'm just having you guys in the background. I'll comment when I have time attention. All right, cool. No problem. John recommended you as previously Ice Queen. Oh, Ice Queen. I remember you now. Wow. Did you thaw out, Katie? Thanks. Yeah, thanks for coming again as Katie this time. Awesome. Love it. I think your profile picture, maybe that's why. I think I recognize your profile picture, but not the name. So I do remember Ice Queen. Good to see you again. Kran is running NORAD. Maybe is looking for nukes. Maybe. There we go. Welcome, formerly known as Ice Queen. Not expecting you to be streaming so early. Sorry. Yeah, that's okay. I didn't even know I had a schedule that you guys were following, which I never think I do, but it's great that you do. That means I'm doing something, something as a routine. Manga is likely the only thing they are actually selling. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel like that. Like I can usually get a beat on what is the big thing for the store when I walk in and you kind of see. It didn't feel like that store was focused on manga. I could be totally wrong, but it didn't feel like it because the section was not as filled out as you would expect from a store that was doing really well selling manga. I mean, like when you walk into, I've walked into several like Barnes and Nobles recently, and the manga section is like aisles and aisles and long, and then you see the American or the non-manga section is like slowly shrinking, and so like, oh, they're putting all them. They have like end caps and different displays of stuff, and then for the American stuff, it's like wee, wee, wee. So it was not like that at this store, but that particular aisle was really clean. So it's either two things, right? Either people are buying a lot from that aisle and that's why it's clean and organized and they're focusing on it, which I don't think so. Or maybe nobody is. Maybe nobody's in that aisle and the rest of the aisles are the ones that people are digging through. Yeah, I don't know. Manga is what sells most, so probably apply their attention there. Maybe. But it didn't feel like it. Including manga, I think Magic and Pokemon cards brings the money in. Yep, I think so. I'm still surprised at how many people are carrying toys, not just like regular toys, but like very niche comic book toys, like old McFarlane's, or even like the really obscure independent comic book artists that made toys, like Madman toys or Grendel toys or whatever. Like they're not like super mainstream, but they still cover it. Like I'm surprised. Like there was some weird in that King Kong shop that had nothing. They did have some toys out that were like, oh, it was like it was the Spawn series, but it was the manga. So funny, or the anime Spawn series. So I think McFarlane did a whole line where he took his characters and did like anime robot versions of them, which was kind of cool at the time. But I was like, I haven't seen those in decades. And there they were, like the whole set was there. So I think they're just appealing to those crazy niche collectors. Art and Times J. Ryan says, I can't keep up with all the name changes, Ice Queen. That's okay. We'll try. Manga sells more than Western comics these days. It does. It really does. And that's okay. I mean, I think, we just got to step up as a Western artist, Western creators, Western comic book creators. They just got to step up, and it's cool. Like, it's cool to see the shift. I think it highlights things that need to be worked on in this industry or supported in the Western industry. It highlights what the Japanese industry, Asian industry is doing really well, and just how wide their market can be and how they attract different audiences than middle-aged nerds, dudes. Their audience is so wide, and it's because the kind of stories they're telling are just as varied as their audience, as opposed to ours, which are predominantly superhero. And I think I've mentioned it before in a stream a long time ago, but I went to one local talk about the Bay Area comic industry or the scene and kind of how it started. And a lot of why American comic books focus on superheroes was because of the Comics Code Authority. And that was all that would be approved. Anything else was like, they'd get a strike against it, or they were not allowed to publish. And so it was at that point, that fork in the road, where we just focused on superhero comics, and the rest of the world, Europe, Asia, was like doing all the different kinds of comics they did. And it forever changed our industry. And now we're kind of seeing, great for us, we got the market on superheroes, but now we're seeing the results of that several generations later, where we're behind the curve of all the different kinds of stories you can tell with comics that Europe and Asia has been doing this whole time. So it's pretty interesting. Katie says, LOLJ, sorry, this is the last promise. It's been a whole new revamp. That's okay. It's all right. It's a refresh. It's a season 2 refresh. Usually stream around 3 o'clock your time, 5 o'clock my time. Wow, you are perceptive, because you're right. It all depends on, a lot of it has to do, my Monday schedule has to do with driving around and errands that I have to run. And so the other errands that I have to run, the schedule was all kind of kooky, and the errands that I have to run later are a little earlier than normal. So that's kind of why things shifted around. But that's super perceptive, Comrade Sammy. Thank you. Why do you hate manga, Rocky? I don't hate manga. I love it. I love it. I'm all for some new ones. I know Cranberry Langers, you've given me some recommendations for some new ones. Our local libraries that's another place that you can see that section just growing and growing and growing, and the American section kind of shrinking. Not as dramatically as Barnes and Nobles, but the manga section is very full in all my local libraries. They could just be lazy, befuddled with the reorg. Yeah, I think that's kind of, if you're talking about that store, I think that's kind of how it was. I don't know who Tay-Tay is. Awesome one. I read a lot of manga, and I'll gladly take it over progressive propaganda. I'll take story, character, and action over brainwashing any day. Amen. Amen. I hear that. I used to shop at Barnes & Noble for manga until I noticed it started shifting more towards romance stuff and less mecha or grand fantasy. Yeah, there's definitely trends for sure. And Barnes & Noble, I'd call it a great entry point for people to discover things. But as I'm sure all of you guys know and well aware, the variation is 20 times more than what Barnes & Noble shows. You could consider Barnes & Noble stuff a little bit more mainstream, that it would show up in a retail bookstore, versus stuff you could find at niche manga stores. Or we have a place in San Francisco. Oh, I wonder, maybe that should be a store that I highlight. I don't know if they would. They're a little bit more corporate, but there's a section in San Francisco called Japantown, which is a lot of Japanese immigrants are there, and they built this whole shopping center and great food there and cute art stores and whatnot. And one of the big stores they have there is Kinokuniya, which is a chain Japanese bookstore. And I found some great things there, and they have a huge manga section there, with tons of art books, and for like video game art books and Miyazaki stuff and DVDs and all sorts of stuff. And there you can find like things that aren't even translated in English. And I find those stories are like, okay, what is this about? Like sometimes I'll just buy books just based on the artwork and not I was just thinking about it. I could pull out. I don't think this one was translated into English. Let me just pull it out just as a example. Yeah, I got this book series. I got this a long time ago, but I remember it because I got it from Japantown and I loved it. And I don't think it was ever translated into English. I could be wrong, but at the time it wasn't translated in English. And it was called Kuro-chan. You guys see that? They had these crazy weird 3D covers, but it was about this cat, like a cyborg cat. And I love the artwork in this. It was really simple. And I loved it so much that I got like, look at that little dude, that little jerk. It's awesome design. And he has these like cyborg parts, and it was just this amazing action. Look how simple that drawing is. It's just like circles, like emoji. But really cool action sequences. And then I even got, oh yeah, shoot. Going off script a little bit in my quote unquote quick stream, right? Whatever. I got these toys. I think I got these in Asia. Actually, I don't think I got these at Kinokuniya. But these toys that are based off of this, like, how cool are those designs? So awesome. They translate to toys so cool. So yeah, that was at Kinokuniya. And I know they have one in New York. I know they have one in LA. They have one all over. It's like a chain, but it's great store. Okay, let's see. Last week it was like a 10:30 stream. Wow, you guys are on it. That's great. See, this is why I wanted to stream, because people like you guys are paying attention. You care, I love it. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for you people. Sleep be damned. Stress be damned. I'm doing it for you people. Comrade Sammy says, I pay attention to things, Rocky. That's the ninja way. I agree totally, Cranberry, with Cranberry's statement about story and artwork and action over brainwashing. Yeah, nobody wants to be told what you should be feeling. Like, they should just present the story, present the characters, present the conflict, and let you experience it. Don't tell me this is good, this is bad. I'm not like, well, I'll read it and see, and like I'll kind of make my own judgment on that. That's the beauty of art. Awesome One says, hashtag Tay Tay is a psyop, aka Angela Curry. Oh, okay. Angela Curry. Yes, I know of Angela Curry from other streams and stuff. Very familiar name. The Glorious Nippon. Alan Lau says, Kinokuniya Bookstore and Green Apple Bookstore should... Oh, yeah, Green Apple. That is by far my favorite, has always been my favorite used bookstore in the city. One of the best used bookstores I've ever been to. Used to be bigger. They shrunk down a little bit after COVID, but they still have a great inventory. They used to have a huge graphic novel section, and that's shrunk down a little bit. But the thing I did notice, and I still get lots of books from there, is that they replenish it quite a bit. So my feeling is when they did the size shrink, they have all the inventory that they used to, but they just kind of siphon it, or they just parse it out as and when they need it. But yeah, that was a good one. I should talk to the Green Apple. I like the idea of highlighting Green Apple more than Kinokuniya, because Green Apple is like a small business, right? As opposed to corporate Kinokuniya. I feel like I'd have to talk to a manager or something, but at Green Apple, I could probably just talk to the guy, I forgot his name, who has always worked there as long as I've known, and see if he'd let me do it. John says, I come in and Rocky says, look at this little jerk. What a greeting. Hey, John. I wasn't talking about you. Katie / Ice Queen was just mentioning that you were the one who brought her to this channel. So as always, John is my biggest recruiter here. So you're always welcome. You're never a little jerk. You're a big jerk. Big jerk, John. Now I'm wondering if all the CG cats are mechas. Are you talking about the cats in this book? Because I think they are. I mean, he fights other cats. So the cool thing, and granted, it wasn't translated into English, or I've never found an English version. There might be one now. But my understanding of the story is he would have these fights with other neighborhood cats, but they would stage it, and it was like their cyber mecha cats. And so they would have these huge, epic fights. But it was just like one cat against another cat. And there was other stories going on. There was these really weird... I don't even know how to explain these characters. I'm trying to find a good image. These really weird alien characters, I think there were. I just... Yeah, I only see in this volume. I have a few of these volumes. They had this lion character. This was one of his main enemies. This, can you guys see it? This cat here. It's hard to see. See if I can find a bigger. Oh, yeah, this cat here with the boomerang at the bottom with the eye patch. Whoop. That guy is one of his main villains. But then they had these weird. These guys were like alien guys. They're not the greatest image because this is like a 3D rendering of it. But these like stick figure alien guys, so weird. They had this lion, this robot lion. I don't know. I loved it. I just bought it for the art and the action sequences. John saying hello to everybody. Hashtag John da jerk. Cranberry Langers is not here, John, so no need to say hi to him because he's not here. Everybody's saying hello to the amazing John. Cranberry Langer says, "We appreciate your efforts, Rocky. Please continue to not sleep for us. Exhaustion is what we want." Okay, you've convinced me. Twist my arm. That's okay. I was also late. Rocky called me out. You guys, I'm fine with you coming in whenever you can. Okay? Just because I say whoever's first in chat gets mentioned in the credits doesn't mean you have to be first in chat. Take a hint. Take a page from Awesome One's book where he embraces being second or last sometimes. There you go. Imagination. There's room enough under the bus for all of us. John is the biggest. Something. Don't be humble, John. You're welcome. Dean and Aldous review some current and past comics if you want more comic reviews. Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you, Awesome One. You bring the links a lot of the time, so I do check them out. I do go back and watch my streams just to find those links, so thank you. I will look at that. There's a few other... I think there's one channel that I've been watching. This guy, he's got a lot of followers, actually. It's called Comics Are Dope, and he does reviews, too. I think he's had a channel a long time. I obviously look at the Comic Book Palace, which is kind of one of the funny ones I watch. Yeah, there's a few that I watch that do reviews. And sometimes I'm looking for specific reviews. Sometimes I'm looking for the weekly reviews. So it depends on what I stumble across. Then, like, Shelby does great reviews when he does them. A lot of people have... I've been watching this one guy. Oh, man, what's his name? I can't remember. Yeah, tons of reviews out there. So it just depends on the books I want to look at. Just use your table. Oh, yeah. I should have used the table camera. Okay, all right. Let's get to the unboxing. Speaking of table camera, let me move these toys out of the way. This one is a large-sized unboxing. So I got to move my keyboard. If Emo Trash was here, she'd comment on my keyboard. Let's see. Switch to here first. My keyboard is not in shot. Oops. All right, let's get to this. All right, just to give you a sense I always like doing these just comparisons so you can get a sense. So like this is like a regular comic book size. Look at the size of this box. It's a little big. Like this comic book it's almost twice the height of one comic book and 3 times the width. Now it's just the box, granted, but it's containing something bigger than an average comic book size. Alrighty. Oh, whoops. I think I cut it in the wrong way. No accidental addresses showing. Always something you gotta learn. I've learned on YouTube. Let me just make sure. Get that out of the way. It's kind of... All right. Let me put my knife out of the way so I don't kill myself. Let me switch to the bigger angle. All right. Check this out. Okay, this is what I thought it was. And maybe this will be so redundant for everybody because I've actually talked about this book, I think, 2 times already. In different formats. So you're going to think I'm kind of crazy. Oh, it got dinged. Oh, well, it's okay. Booyah. So, as you remember, I did an unboxing of ROBOCOP versus Terminator. This version. Which is the compilation... the compilation of the series that Frank Miller and Walt Simonson did. It's a hardcover compilation, a hard one to find. I found this one on eBay. So this came, what, 3 weeks ago? And I opened it up like, cool, awesome, I got it. And when I was talking about this one, I had mentioned to you that I already had the soft cover version, which was this version. Great cover. But the thing I didn't like about the soft cover version is, one, the way they put it together. It just felt like they took the comics, I think it's 4 issues. 4 issues or 6 issues? And stacked them together, put glue, cut it, and then put a new cover on it. Didn't feel like it was put together that well. The quality of paper is like not the greatest quality of paper. And then they included these cardstock standees that were part of the original issues, which again, it makes me feel like they just stacked the issues as is. Like it wasn't a reprint. They just stacked their inventory and then put a binding on it. And it was produced by Diamond Distributors. So that's, again, a reason why I think that was like their quick fix of putting together a soft cover. But it included these hard cardstock standees, which, okay, it's kind of cool. But in a graphic novel, it's like hard to flip the pages when you have these in there. So I never really was satisfied with, other than this awesome cover, I was really never satisfied with the soft cover. Then I got the hard cover. And then I saw this one show up. And I've always had my eye on this one. This one's pretty hard to find. It's a weird dimension. It's not your normal gallery edition dimension. So it looks like whoever owned this, I got this. Yeah, it's kind of dinged. That's not great. Whoever owned this didn't open it from the plastic. But I'll show you in a second why I wanted this version. This will probably be the last version of ROBOCOP versus Terminator that I buy because I think I have them all anyway. I have an individual issue 1 too. I don't have all the individual issues, but I have the issue 1 of this. So it's a little obsessive with ROBOCOP versus Terminator. But it's huge. Look how huge that. I can't even fit it on. I mean, I can zoom out maybe a little bit more. Let me try and zoom out a little bit more. Yeah, that's not that much more. And then when I zoom out more, it's this weird, like I'm getting part of my camera stand here. Not the greatest. Can't, let's see. Let me zoom in a little more so you don't see it, but a little bit out from where I was. What are you guys saying? What's in the box? It's a Betamax, fingers crossed. It might as well have been. It's pretty hard. RoboCop is bigger than a Betamax player. LNS says, wow, that is cool. Okay, so I'll show you now why I really wanted this version. I love the I love the comic itself. Oh my gosh, I can't even. I gotta move my keyboard. This is ridiculously large. I don't know why there's a reason why they printed it at this size. I don't know offhand why. I think because some of Simonson's pages. Wow, I'm just knocking things over here. I can't even. I think I'm gonna have to do something like this. Some of Simonson pages like bled off. I have no idea why they made it this wide. Because this is original size. Oh my gosh. This is going to be the worst review video ever because I can't. I feel like I'm just knocking things over as I flip through it. But it's beautiful scans of the book, the pages. Like, look at this one. This one's pretty neat. You can see that they did a one-up or a zoom. This is what I love about artist editions, where you can see the production side of it. Not only like the inks on the paper and the whiteout, which is beautiful, but like the production side of it, where they had to like photocopy things. Like he did this head. I think it looks like he drew this middle-size head, shrunk it for this panel, and blew it up for this panel, which is awesome. That's great. Now you don't get that kind of stuff necessarily if people are drawing digitally. You can just scale it all up digitally. I'm literally only being able to show you guys like half this book or a quarter of this book. Awesome One says, that's either a giant-sized book for babies or old people with big words. I know. It's huge. And it's square. That's the difference. I don't even know. I didn't think this through too well, guys. I don't even know if I will be able to put this on one of my shelves. That's not good. So yeah, I think this kind of page, this is great. This kind of page is why they printed it square, because for whatever reason, a lot of the stuff Simonson does, and this makes sense. This makes sense knowing the kind of work that Simonson does, that I know of his work, is he loves to do like full bleed artwork. His stuff is always jumping off the page, like literally breaking past the boundaries of the page. So check out this. Whoa! That's the second time this has happened to me on stream. Sorry. That's how big this book is. Whoops, sorry guys. Okay. It's because the tripod, I won't explain it. It's just, this book is huge. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, this is a great page. Maybe let me find it on, oh my gosh. My room is now turning into the Hoarder's comic book. So I can't even criticize that store because I am turning into that store right here before your eyes. Things are falling over. Let me see if I can find that page, that spread, so we can show comparison. Here we go. So this is awesome because you can see how he took this one drawing, he did this one drawing, and then just photocopy, blew it up, scaled it up, rotated it. There's parts that he knew he wanted to go off the page here, and now you can see here how it was actually printed, how things were like cut off and stuff. But it just gets this sense, like, again, with Simonson's work, stuff just exploding off the page. Just, he gets it from Kirby. And they're just, you know, the characters, the artwork is just bursting off the page. So it's kind of cool to see how he accomplished that with the production abilities that they had at the time that he created the book. John says, it is printed that size for those who don't want to scratch their nose directly. I know. I'm going to get paper cuts on my face when I read this. That's an ornate page, Jake. See, it's ornate. You better be sorry. We demand perfection, Rocky. I mean, I don't think I'm perfect. I don't think I'm trying to be perfect. I think I just don't want to give you guys nausea while you watch my stream or motion sickness. Comrade Sammy knows. She knows. She was at several of those streams where like that actually wasn't that bad of a camera drop. The first time that happened was pretty bad. So I'm so happy that you guys still stick around, even though I throw you on a roller coaster literally every now and then. Your room is turning into Shant's layout. Yes, it totally is. I'm not allowed to criticize anybody that has piles of stuff. I tend to be a pretty neat guy, although this week it's going to get very messy because of the stuff that I'm working on is going to require me to like spread out and oh my gosh. Oh no. I thought it was just going to be a fold out page. It's not. But cool stuff. Some Simonson Terminator booty. Gosh, I love artist editions so much. If you guys have not, if I might not have mentioned it before, I'm pretty sure I should have, but one of the sites I frequent when I'm looking up artist editions is called aeindex.org, artisteditionindex.org. And they do fantastic reviews on artist editions. But I warn you, I'm going to give you a warning. The second you get on that site, your wallet is going to start melting and money is going to start disappearing because of how in-depth they do the reviews. You just get to see like, oh my goodness, I really want that book. And that's how I discovered this book, was through that site. I've purchased quite a number of artist editions just based on the reviews. Whoops, almost knocked it over again. Based on the reviews I've seen on their site. So they do a great job. They haven't been updating as much recently. I don't know if that's because not that many artist editions are coming out or what. But anyway, it's a great site. This is so cool. It's everything I wanted it to be. It's amazing. This like, here's a cool thing to see. Let me zoom in. I bet you I can zoom in. So, slightly out of focus. I love seeing this kind of things in artist editions. This lettering. I wonder if they mentioned who the letter is. If I were to guess, it's... Sorry, I just hit the stand. If I were to guess, it was... Is it Chris Eliopoulos? Oh no, John Workman. No kidding. His work looks a lot like Eliapoulos's. But so the reason I bring it up is like the lettering, it feels very drawn with a ruler, but this is hand done at the time. Remember, this is before computer lettering. And he might have done some of it and photocopied and cut it out, pasted in, but look how awesome that lettering looks. There's some whiteout here. I love it. It's really cool. And you can see it up close. You can see some of the pencil lines underneath here, Simonson's pencil lines. But one thing I love, what I wanted to show on this spread was I love how you can see like he's doing rain here and you see him do the inked part, the black lines. And then when it hits ROBOCOP silhouette, he uses the whiteout to do the negative. That's the kind of stuff I love seeing in the artist editions. It was here. I didn't set my position. I don't like you seeing that stand. Yep. Sorry. I'll just go back here. Pretty cool. So this, one thing that some artist editions have, some don't. Sometimes some artist editions don't contain like the full pages of every of the book. Like it'll contain maybe like a handful of the pages and then covers or different pages from different books. Like I know the Michael Golden artist edition is like that. This one is every single page from the book, which is awesome. So you get the full story, you get all the lettering, all the artwork scanned. And it makes a difference too how they scan it. Like when you can see, and this is one of the things that website Artist Edition AE Index does really well is they talk about kind of the nerdy nitty gritty of like the scans and how white is the whites of the page, what kind of quality you can see things. This one seems amazing. This was produced by, who produced this? Dark Horse through Boom Studios. Yeah. But I always feel like Scott Dunbier, I'm just double checking here. He usually has something to do with a lot of these great, some of the best artist editions. He always has something to do with it, but it doesn't look like, yeah, I don't think he was on this one. Yeah. Usually he's like the editor on them, and he does a great job. He's recently starting something new. He's been working for IDW, just doing these specific art editions. The newest one that's coming out is, it's coming out in August, I want to say, is Batman Year One. That's going to be like his magnum opus after leaving IDW, is that Batman Year One. I cannot wait for that one. But yeah, he's leaving to start his own something, a new endeavor, and I can't imagine him not doing artist editions in some form or fashion. This is really cool. This is such a classic Simonson, like he draws with like a circle template, but it's so dynamic and like a lot of energy. Okay. Art and Times of J. Ryan says, the lack of professionalism. I know. If I were to rate myself of professionalism on a scale to 1 to 5, I'd give myself a 1 for knocking that camera over. We love your chaotic streams, Rocky. I'm glad. I'm going to just take that at face value. I'm going to just say that is exactly what you mean, and I'm going to say you're welcome. Spin me right round. Yep. Sorry. Melting like the Wicked Witch of the West. It's raining bullets. Yep. RoboCop playing extreme cornhole. Hey, Cranberry Landers is here. He was not here before, so it's cool to see you. Hey, man, how you doing? Great for you to stop by. Here's another example of using whiteout, the white ink, to cut into the blacks here. It's great. I love Simonson's rendition of RoboCop and Terminator. It's just a perfect combo. Like, to get Frank Miller to write it and Simonson to draw it is really good. It's cool. I don't think I can get this on the screen because I'm going to hit my tripod. Shoot. Let me see. I might have to show it to you sideways. Ooh, there's the tripod. Ugh. This is cool. Let me show you. I'll zoom in. I'll move it like this. Do you guys see, like, you see the hand lettering, right? It says next issue, a really big fight, and big is in this cool font. But you can see based on the scan, I guess as they were planning it out, they just had it typed out here, and then they did the paste up on top of it. I love that kind of stuff. I love seeing that. It's just process. It's just so fascinating. We often see the end product and all its bells and whistles and Photoshop filters, and but I love seeing the mess. I love seeing the, oh, this is cool. This is just what I was talking about, the lettering on a separate page. See, I should be an editor because they said the same thing they wrote here on the previous page. John Workman's first attempt at next issue lettering is visible underneath his final version, which has been pasted on top. And then this is the original lettering that he did, that he cut and pasted and put on top. He drew it on the back of issue 1. What? I'm always blown away. I kind of wish Shelby was on stream at the moment because he could give some insight to this, or any of you, maybe Art and Times J. Ryan, maybe you have some insight here. I know anybody who's an artist who's worked in comics before, professionally, just the idea of inking over original pencils, I've never understood why you would do that, because you lose the original pencils, right? Like, isn't that how it works? I always would think like, don't you want to keep the original pencils and then just light box it? And I know it's not as easy, and as far as like, there's always something lost in translation between light boxing and the final piece. But the idea of drawing directly on pencils, like I couldn't do that. That even my own, I would be so scared. It's like, but some people just do it. I know Shelby does it. And then afterwards they erase the pencils after they're done inking. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You just erased it? Like part of the beauty is seeing the pencils. That's how they did it. All right. Let's see. Wait, no, I'm behind. Way behind. But I did see Emo Trash. Hey, Emo Trash, how are you? Hello. Still loving the lack of notifications. Oh, sorry. I don't know what it is. Real life demands attention right when Emo shows up too. All right, I guess you're taking off, John. See you later. Oh, here he goes. I need to run for now. We'll check back if you're still going. Thanks, John. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'll flip through the rest of this and then I'll have to wrap it up. But thanks for coming by. Hopefully, maybe I'll still be here. But take care. Have a good day. Cranberry Landry says, I hate most of the first years of Batman stories. They usually apply modern ethics, morality, and aesthetics to previous years. The first years of Batman stories. Like, did you like Batman Year One, Cranberry Landry? I really love Batman Year One. The artwork in that one is... I love how Batman Year One and Dark Knight, after all these years, they just stand on their own. Both incredible stories, both very different artwork, very different stories, but they're both incredible. Yeah, I love them equally. But I can't wait to see an artist edition of Year One. I've seen the artist edition. Surprisingly enough, I don't own the artist edition of Dark Knight Returns. Part of the reason is because I have a lot of different versions of Dark Knight Returns already. I love Frank Miller's black and white work. I love the color work that Lynn Barley did on Dark Knight Returns. So taking that off of it almost removes something of Dark Knight for me. That's like one of the rare occasions where coloring speaks so much to me about that book that to take it away almost is like, it doesn't feel the same. The other reason that I haven't jumped the gun of buying Dark Knight Returns, and I might do that some way down the road, but is it's really large. I have a Ronin Gallery edition that's produced the same way as the Dark Knight edition, and it's very large. And I love that one. So I don't know, maybe I'll get the Dark Knight one soon. And then I think just seeing David Mazzucchelli's process for Batman Year One is what I'm super excited about, because he was on a different level when he was working on that. I loved his Daredevil stuff. I loved all his previous work to Batman Year One, but there was something different about Batman Year One that I really can't wait to look at closely. Awesome One says, failing is part of being a professional. Yeah, it is. I must be really professional then. Takes me out of the story. Are you still talking about the Batman Year One or Batman stuff? Sorry. Emo Trust says, hello, still. Oh, yeah, I got that. Everybody's saying hello to Emo. Cranberry was here, not there, now back. John's taken off. Okay, got that. Chat Ninja here too. She is. Here she is. Nope. Nope, she's not here. See you later, John. God bless. Chat Ninja is in Chat Ninja school practicing the Chat Ninja arts. That's right. And part of that is being here but not being here. Cranberry Landers is also in that school. I see. Carry on, Comrade Sammy. I don't see you. Awesome One. Oh my gosh. This is Chat Ninja school? Wow, we should start our own school. That's like, didn't Ben Dunn have a book called was it Ninja School? I can't remember. That's another channel I've been watching recently. Not that it's not super compelling, but I've been watching Ben Dunn. No offense, Ben Dunn, but he has his own YouTube channel, and I just respect, you know, how long he's been in the comic book industry as an independent. So he posts. He has been posting pretty regularly. So I do catch that every now and then, and he talks about all sorts of things, predominantly comic book related stuff. So you guys should check him out, Ben Dunn. I didn't know that he was Asian. I thought he was not Asian, he was trying to bring in manga influence back in the early 90s when it wasn't cool, when it was super niche. So yeah, I honestly did not know he was Asian until I saw his YouTube channel, which is shame on me. Look at this amazing Terminator drawings. And he could have easily like copy pasted that head, but he didn't. Drew a different Terminator here. Man, Walt Simonson's so good. He's got such a unique style. And he's got to be in his like late 70s now, and he's still putting out artwork this good, in my opinion. Like sometimes you see artists, the legends, like in their later years decline, and their style changes kind of reflects that. But I have not seen Walt Simonson drop a ball or show any signs of aging with his current stuff. Maybe the inker wants to make their mark. Maybe, are you talking about inking over the pencils? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that whole philosophy, because then you only have one copy of the original, which maybe that's the whole point. It's combine the penciler and inker together, but just the idea of losing those pencils, because there's so much different information you get from the pencils, and you lose it all once you ink. But it's, for an artist edition, it's amazing to see both the pencils kind of showing up here underneath the inks. Ooh, I love this spread. I love this spread so much. Like, he's not just holding up the head of the Terminator, he's put his hand through its eye sockets. That's hardcore. Anytime you penetrate your enemy's eye sockets, you mean business. This is awesome. Sorry, I'm just looking a lot closer on this dog, this inked dog. I'm giving you guys are gonna have to take Dramamine after watching this stream. I apologize wholeheartedly. Look at this. I'm gonna zoom in over here. Look at this dog drawing. It's just a side dog Terminator dog that's attacking ROBOCOP. But I just love these ink marks. I would love to see. I've never seen a video. Maybe I should research it. There's got to be one out there. I've never seen a video of Walt Simonson working. I've seen videos of interviews of him. I've obviously seen his work, but I've never seen a video of him working. Oh my gosh, they did do a gatefold. Now what am I going to do? What am I going to do, guys? This is too large. I can't even. Okay, I'm gonna go out full out wide as I can go here, which isn't that much more than I was. So this whole page of the gatefold is taken up because Simonson wanted to have this Kirby crackle and Starbeam. Oh my gosh. So this is 3 of the size of the book, 3 of the square pages wide. This is bananas, but very cool. Look at that Terminator ship with the head. Oh my gosh. How do you store this stuff? Like the actual work? Oh no! I need to find a way to secure this tripod. I'm a pro. I need to find a way to secure this tripod. It's like teetering on the edge of existence. Sorry. All right. Comics aren't meant to be valuable. They're supposed to be throwaway. It's commercial art, not meant to be loved after the fact. I think you are right. I mean, I've seen some interviews and some of examples of like pages that would be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars now, and like they just like repurposing artwork as they were producing it, right? Because they were all about the end product of getting the comic out. So they would cut and paste, they would reuse images, but in the process they're like dissecting and like trashing the original. And now all we have are bits and pieces of that. And as a collector, you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, why did you treat it so poorly? And they used all this kind of crappy glue. Like that's why the glue is kind of falling apart and fading, and the inks are fading. You see a lot of that in these artist editions of when they don't use the correct ink, or they're using like a pencil pen or something, and the ink starts fading over time. You can see the differences in that, which is awesome. There's a lot of examples of that in the Todd McFarlane artist edition, his Spider-Man artist edition. Here's another awesome Through the Eye Sockets. They might be ashamed of wanting to make up for errors in the original pencils. Maybe? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. That's why I want to know. I want to talk to somebody who's done it professionally, like the reasoning behind why and what the benefit was. Because I'm sure I'm not the first person to think, why are we doing this over the pencils? Like, but there must be a very logical reason, I would think. I do not like Batman Year One, nor did I like All-Star Batman and Robin. I didn't like All-Star Batman and Robin either, so you're not in the minority. But you did not like Batman Year One. Have you read it recently? It's so good. It's such a good story. Oh, I am overwhelmed. That's a good sign when you get an artist edition and you just can't take it all in, both literally and emotionally. Here's another double paste up right here. Awesome One says, Jay, just throw out your blanks, I guess. I saw a blank at that store, Jay. It was at that store that had no comics in it, that was kind of revamping or reorganizing. I saw a blank there and I was like, oh, it made me think of you and Shelby. I was like, I wonder if they have this blank. What was it for? I don't remember. I guess that would have been an important thing to take note. It wasn't a mainstream book. It was kind of an independent book. So it seems like for this too, they created all sorts of weird extra Terminator characters, like this Terminator spider. They had the Terminator dogs. This is a pretty cool likeness of Peter Sellers. Is it Peter Sellers, the name of the actor? Murphy. That's great. Even though it looks like a McFarlane, even though it looks like a Simonson drawing, Simonson character, he does have some of the likeness of the actor in there. Awesome One says, I like cosmic stuff, so never bought Batman. No kidding. Yeah, Batman. I mean, Art and Times of J. Ryan. Initially, they were just for kids, not taken seriously. The art was production or assembly line. One piece pencils passed on to the next. The inker, yeah. It's that like bullpen, like, yeah, assembly line. They had to crank that stuff out. Similar to like pulp novels, right? Like I remember reading, there was a book that Shant had recommended to me about pulp, the history of pulp stories and just like The Shadow and Doc Savage and how they're created. And those studios were just cranking out those stories. And the reason why those books are called pulp novels or pulp stories is because of the type of paper they were printed on. It was like the crappiest, almost newsprint kind of paper, pulp made out of wood pulp. And but now those books are all kind of fading and falling apart because they were meant to be disposable. So too bad, collectors. And I guess that makes all the difference when you do find like really good versions of some of these books. I'm sorry I keep hitting this. I think for these gallery editions, I need to find a better tripod or setup. For all of my streams, a better tripod setup, because I keep knocking stuff. I love this image of RoboCop. This one he's flying up. This one he's flying down. Oh no, sorry. It's a up shot of him here and then a down shot here. That's so cool. RoboCop's a great design. Great character. So Tales from the Crypt was for kids. Guys, let me tell you about this channel. It's not super compelling. Sorry. I mean, you know, if you appreciate Ben Dunn and all he's done for independent comics, that he was a voice out there, he's still doing it, then by all means. And, you know, he's got great insight and a lot of experience. I think when I say it's not super compelling, it's like the way it's filmed. Granted, my camera just fell twice. I'm knocking the overhead camera all the time, so I can argue this is not super compelling either. But the way it's filmed, you see like his stacks of stuff in the background, and like it's like in his bedroom, and I don't know. Since I've joined YouTube, I realize that part of the content that I gravitate towards, even non-comic content, I do like higher production value, great camera resolution, nice colors, you know, focused artwork and stuff like that, and varying degrees of people doing that on YouTube. Some people have super successful channels and they just they don't care. They don't give a lick about, you know, how it looks. They just put out great content. Some people have great looking channels, but their content's so-so. So I try and find a balance there for my own stuff, but, you know, varying degrees of success. I think I might have shared in one of the streams is one of my friends who has a immense channel, and it has nothing to do with comics. It's about like back-end engineering, back-end systems, but he has a huge following, like almost 1 million followers, and it's great. It's produced well, does a great job of producing well. And he was showing me one of his competitors, and the point of why he was showing me was one of the competitors was he was saying like, it doesn't really matter all the time. Quality of content matters, but it's more about finding your audience, and your audience will tell you whether they like all the effort you're putting into it or not. So his competitor, who has almost as much followers as he does, just sets up a camera and is filming in his bedroom. And I kid you not, he's an engineer, he's a programmer, so he's super smart. He's worked at all the big tech companies, but he has like pizza boxes in the background and like Slurpee cups, and he's like half dressed well, not even dressed well, just half like wearing old t-shirts. His bed is unmade in the background. Like for me, I'm like, I could not watch this for long successive times, but he has an amazing amount of followers. And my friend said, these are my people. These are the people that watch this kind of stuff. So you just got to know your audience. And my audience loves it when I knock my camera over when I'm trying to open up a triple gatefold, which is this one. Another one. I can't show this. This is not even showing up well. Epic battle. RoboCop's basically flying through Terminators with his jetpack. Good night. This is a big book. I think what makes this more unwieldy too is it's square sized. So it might be a hair wider. I think it's wider than the other artist editions I'd have, and a little bit shorter. So yeah. Ben Dunn sounds like a white guy name or something. Truth be told, I thought so too. You should be ashamed, Rocky, forever. I am. Rocky spoils books. It's his thing. I do. There are some great images in this book. There's amazing images in this book. Really fun stuff. This is I love the lettering included in this. How it's part of the artwork. It's really thought of as one with the art, even though it's a different artist, right? It's John Workman, not Simonson doing it, but it's very well done. All right, we're almost done. I did have a question about why he gave this character a Three Stooges haircut. But, you know, to each his own. Walt Simonson, I've mentioned this before, is a huge dinosaur fan. And I almost feel like him adding this at the end of this book was just kind of him going, hey, screw it. I love dinosaurs. I want to draw a T-Rex. But he draws cool dinosaurs. And there you go. That's how this book ends. Then they have a gallery. Oh, what's this? Additional art taped to the top and bottom of the boards to ensure there would be enough art to print full bleed. That's what he's doing. Extended art is cropped out in chapter 4 of this edition to maintain the original size. The pages with extra art are... Okay, they did some sort of... whatever. Because they had to format it all to this square. That's cool. They showed some of these pencils. See? Or maybe these are just layouts. These layouts? See, all they have for this now are just like the photocopies. Because the dang inker, which was Simonson himself, inked over his own pencils. I mean, I get that artists who ink themselves, well, I don't know. I'm going to hesitate on my own work. But artists who ink themselves makes a little bit more sense that you do it straight on top of your own pencils. Because you know which lines you're looking for and what lines were important in the pencils. But I feel like as an inker who didn't pencil it, and then you make the decision, which is why you're hired on, of what gets inked or what the way the inks look, but then you erase what the penciler did, like that's a lot of responsibility. Oh, cool. This is cool. Okay, hopefully I don't knock over my camera for this. This is that image from the soft cover, but just the inked, the black and white version. Woo! That is an amazing image. Like, either side of that image is the cool part of the image in my book. ROBOCOP or the Terminator, they both look so cool. And there's Simonson's great signature in white, where he draws the dinosaur out of his signature. 1992, April 25th, 1992. Wow, we're almost hitting the anniversary of that. April 25th, 3 days till April 25th. 1992, 30, oh my gosh, that was 32 years ago he drew this. And like I'd mentioned before, he has not skipped a beat with his artwork now. This is this is the image on another version, or like I think the slip cover for another compilation. Maybe the hardcover that I have, because I've seen that image before. This is cool. I've never seen this before. That's a great image. Whew. So cool. He's got a parking violation ticket with bullet holes in it. Amazing. Wow, more like half images with reflections of the other character in it. ROBOCOP, reflection of the Terminator in it, and then Terminator with the ROBOCOP in his eyeball. So cool. That's a giant rat from San Francisco. That dog, yeah. My phone only just got the notification 9 minutes ago. I'm sorry. Oh boy. YouTube, we have to have a conversation, YouTube. Biggest rat I saw was in Rome. It was the size of a medium dog. That's frightening. I've seen rats that big before outside of this country. Yeah, that's frightening. I mean, New York has some pretty huge rats himself. Here's the back image. They did the scan. Oh no, maybe this is not a scan. I thought this was a scan of like butcher paper texture, but it's not. I think this is actually the book. They just like put a matte sealant over it or something. It's cool. Yeah, see, there's a ding. That's too bad. I got it for a bargain, though, for this book. I did not pay the prices that I've seen it being going for, like on eBay and stuff. I got it for a bargain. So I'll take the ding if I get it for a little cheaper, because it's hard to find. It seems like they didn't print so many copies. And so, yeah, it's a little bit hard to find. Cranberry Lander says, Rocky is breaking his camera equipment like a disposable and cheap car. I am. Second time Rocky has knocked the cam in this stream. We're shooting for 3. No, we're not. I'm done. I'm done flipping the pages. These ginormous pages. So no more knocking over. I do need to figure out a way to secure this camera. I need to get one of those arms. I have it on like a short tripod right now. Maybe one of these days I'll do like a, what do you call it? Like a studio. I've seen people do like a video showing their space. I always find those so fascinating to see how wow, this is crooked, to see how other people set it up in their studios. And this is really crooked. So yeah, maybe I should do that. Like, I think I'd mentioned in one stream, I was trying to set up a camera that was kind of way wider, almost like a security cam shot. I'm still planning on doing that. I just got to get the right camera that has the right cord, but that would be cool. So you guys can see a different angle and not just always this one. Cranberry Lander says, going to leave again. All right, Cranberry, have a good day. Emo Trash says, one day there will be enough knockovers to make a compilation. That's right. Oh, that would be awesome. I'll do like a supercut of knocking over. That would be awesome. Of all my boo-boos. Hashtag boo-boo cut. I will do of all the the mistakes. That would be funny. Awesome One says, my current notifications, Culture Casino, Church Streams, Game Streams, 0 Rocky notification. But you made it. You still made it. So thank you. Someone clips Rocky Fails. I haven't read it recently. No, they compressed about 30 years of story into year 1, and the timeline and character progression doesn't make sense. Bruce would have to have adopted Dick Grayson. I'll have to sit back and think about that one. It's funny because you never really think about Bruce Wayne's age until, like, when he's on his own. Yeah, he seems pretty young. But the events that happen, yeah, I'll have to think about that. So much for leaving again. Welcome back. In like his teens or early 20s, it would make sense. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, because like, how old is Bruce Wayne when Dick Grayson joins him? Like, roughly, is he like his 30s? So, yeah, that's a good point. I'm leaving. Peter Weller. Yeah, not Peter Sellers. Peter Weller. Buckaroo Banzai. I've never seen Buckaroo Banzai. That's one of those cult movies that I've never seen. That one or is that the one that I always think of? Is there a samurai sword in Buckaroo Banzai? Yeah, he was great as RoboCop. Get out of here, Cranberry Landers. He's not going. We collect all the flavors of geek and nerd around these parts. We do. Yep, we do. For Rocky, it's more DMK drop my keyboard. As opposed to DKR Dark Knight Returns or drop my keyboard. Yep. Get a couple camera arms, then you can move them around. Yeah, I'm thinking I would like to get an arm. I've seen crazy setups where they have the huge, like, not a cage, but like the bar above, which is cool. You can get a great down shot. You don't have to worry about like getting in the way of it, but that won't work for my desk. I do have a monitor that I'm staring at right now that is on an arm, and I was looking for an extension so that I can hang the camera off of it, but it doesn't, at least this particular arm doesn't, so maybe I have to get a different arm. Yeah, it's like a slippery slope. Buy a robot. Yeah, maybe. Some people might see the mess as a more authentic and relatable. Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get that. And I'm I'm not knocking them. I think the point I was trying to make was, well, I kind of did. I was like, it's not that compelling. So sorry, my apologies. I love you, Ben Dunn. But I think the point I was trying to make was like, there's certain things that appeals to me, to the kind of YouTube channels I want, that I like, that have a look to it. And yes, feeling like you walk into your friend's room and you're just talking about comics is great. I do like the stuff that looks a little bit more slick, and I think that's just the techie nerdy kind of side of me, the other nerdy side of me that's like a little bit more techie and likes film production. So, I'll carve my own niche out here. And for sure, you guys have seen the warts and all of my streams and my setups here. But yeah, I think to each their own. You can make it whatever you want, which is the cool thing about YouTube. And they find their audience for sure. Some people aren't affected by it all, but I don't like seeing unmade beds. I don't care what kind of content you're producing. I personally do not subscribe to people that have unmade beds behind them when they are streaming. I like to hear good quality sound. I don't like it when the sound sounds like it's coming from, 10 miles away, just because you're only using the sound from your iPhone or whatever, stuff like that. It's too exciting to watch your camera crash down. Yeah, you never know when it's going to happen. It's like a ride. Ryan Roger Athey is a dude in Wales who is super weird, but interviews anyone and everyone. All right, got to post that link. Athey's shtick is he looks really old, but is 23 and he has a Coke fridge. Okay. Okay, more. I have a acrylic painting and all my pencils show through big time. No one told me to erase them, or how to at least keep painted guideline of the art. I did not know you were an artist. Awesome one. That's cool. Yeah, I love seeing process. I do. And yeah, I think it's just erasing it that freaks me out, that you never can see that pencil part of the process again, for comics at least. That's the thing with art in times of Jay Ryan says, you don't really age out of it. As long as your eyes and hands work, you can continue to improve, which is frightening, right? Because like one of my mentors and an incredible artist in his own right he's like in his 70s, and he's still doing it for the love of it. He happens to be an animator, and he's still doing it for the love of it. And he just told me, like, I know that the years that I have where he basically said, like, I'm doing this because my hand is still steady. And I'm just going to keep doing it while my hand is still steady. He said, because I know there's going to come a day when my hand is not steady anymore and I won't be able to actually do the drawing. I can still see it. I can still see what needs to be done. I can still, work on timing or whatever, or direct it. But when he can actually do the drawing, he said his time is limited. So that it's true as artists, like for sure, as long as you still have your eyes in your hands, you can do it. But sometimes there will come a time when you don't even have that. So we feel like we have tomorrow. I say this a lot, but we don't. Mark's music obsession. Hey, dude, I just showed up. Super busy, Rocky. Sorry. No problem. I'm glad you could show up. I doubt you got a notification because I know they're always sketchy for you, but you're here as I'm closing out. But it's okay. I'm glad to see you. I hope you're well. I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope your mom's doing good. Hope the weather is awesome. Hope you've gotten on your boat and taken a good, not sail, but taking your boat out and enjoyed the water. Everybody's saying hey to MMO. Rocky's desk camera will be on some global cam site where you can control the camera. That freaks me out. And so when I don't stream, I put my cap on my lens. I mean, I turn it off, but I put the cap on. I kind of like point it in a different direction. You never know. Vote Mark for that comic that won't be reviewed by Rocky. Shh, don't tell Mark. My room has piles of books, videos, and blankets and clothes. Okay. It happens. It happens. I mean, this room is not the cleanest room. It's relatively clean, but that other side of my desk on this side is not. It's just stacks and piles of stuff. But it's not on camera. So I try and keep it to this corner. The height there's a reason. because if you go a little bit lower, you're going to see other stacks. So yeah, pretty intentional about the framing of my shot until the camera gets knocked over, and then you guys probably see more than I would want you to. I'm off and on. Sheets, what are sheets? I'll send you a picture of my blanket scrunched up in bed not made. And then I will subscribe because it'll be so compelling. Okay, cool. 110. All right, I gotta go. But thank you guys for coming. It was really fun. It was ROBOCOP versus Terminator Gallery Edition was the unboxing today. This, like I mentioned at the beginning, should be my last version of this book that I'm going to pick up because I think I have them all. Too many, but I could not pass up. Here, I'll do just the last shot. I could not pass up getting this bad boy. It was really cool. I think if it was just a few pages or a section of pages, I would be less inclined. The fact that it's the entire series compiled in one was such a draw for me. And then the scans are great. And then just overall, the artwork is amazing. So it was hard to pass up. It was on my watch list on eBay, and I actually found it somewhere else. So I'm really psyched that I found it because I can't find it on eBay. I've been looking for it for a while. So there you go. If you can run across a copy, I recommend it. It's amazing. And just make sure you have a place to put it. Because I will, after the stream, probably have to try out where I can fit it. I don't have a spot. I have no spot. All right, cool. Emo Trash, that's amazing. She'll always be here to laugh at my screw ups. Good. Because screwing up and being alone is not as fun. It's not as fun. Mark's Music says, see everyone next time as long as it's not a late night. See, that's why I'm glad you showed up. I would do all late night streams probably because it's quieter and I have more time. No, you don't have to mix it in with like errands and work and whatnot. But it's fun to be more awake when I do these streams. And also people like you, Mark, I want to give a chance to get in there because if I do a late stream, you're asleep. So this one's for you, dude. Even though you just came in, but go back and watch it. Anyway, thanks everybody for showing up. Thank you. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate all the not notifications, all the extra push that you guys can add to this channel. We're doing it. We're at 215 subscribers. I am super crazy swamped with just life. So hang on to your hats. I'm going to try and get to the video from last week's my Wednesday comics. I'm going to try and get to the store this week on Wednesday, but give me a little bit of grace if I don't, because I am drowning. And I am waking up in cold sweats at night trying to figure out how I'm going to get everything done. So it's all good. Health is good. Family's good. Nothing bad, but it's just a lot of logistics swirling around. So if you don't see from me this week, it's not because I'm dead. It's because I'm busy. And I will jump in as soon as I can, when I can. So, yeah, we're leaving, Comrade Sammy. I got to get back to what I got to do. How about one more knockdown for the... I'm going to do a controlled knockdown. Here, I'll do something fun. I'll show you. I'll turn a little bit. Okay. Whoa. See? Almost. See, that's kind of the rest of my... All that stuff. Stuff on the floor. Yeah, see, there's a door on this side. Yeah, there you go. That was for you guys because you asked. That was a very bad studio tour. All right, take it easy, guys. Have a good Monday. Have a good rest of your week, and I will see you soon. Where are we going? All right, see you later.